Okay guys, I'm going to continue my knee on belly submission series. My buddy Zach from here. So, I'm here. I start to control this guy's far side wrist. Okay? Now, let's say the guy's pushing here and it's not enough. So what he does is he starts turning towards me over here and starting to, trying to let go of this grip over here using the other arm. Now I have a couple of different options I can go to from here, but one I like a lot is being able to shoot in this guy's collar underneath his arm. So he has his arm over here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep control of this wrist as I shoot in 4 fingers into the guy's collar from here, right? When I have my hand inside the collar, I can let go of this wrist, but I'm gonna go ahead and put pressure on this guy's top arm. I put pressure down on the guy's top arm until I can replace my arm with my upper body, with my chest. Now, I reach underneath his head and I hug his back over here and I start to put pressure. Very nice Brabo choke from here. One more time. So I'm in here, I control the guy's hand, he starts to turn. Boom. I shoot my arm into the guy's collar, push the guy's arm down, put my chest pressure in, and hug his back. Sorry. Other angle. Control the arm, he turns, shoot my hand in, pressure down, chest, hug his back. So a different setup for the choke, guys, is when I try to attack the guy's collars from the get-go before I control any of his wrists. Okay, so if I open this guy's collar and shoot my hand inside here, immediately the guy's first thought should be to go ahead and grab and try to either break my grip or just defend the choke. Because this right here, this pressure is nasty. Okay, I don't leave my hand up in here. I pin my elbow to the guy's chest in order to lift the guy's neck off the ground. Okay, he starts to grab it, that's my cue. I can pin one arm down, and now his only defense should be to turn back into me. Over here, he thinks he's defending the choke. When I go over here, I let go of the wrist, push down on the guy's arm, push down, replace my arm with my chest, and I hug the guy's back as I push into him. Notice that to finish, I don't have to be in the knee on belly position, right? I can have my hips low next to the ground and give the guy a nice tight squeeze. Now the Brabo choke works the same way as a triangle choke does. So essentially it's a triangle without your legs, right? I have one arm in and I'm controlling the guy's collar and then I'm hugging the guy's head. So it's the same kind of setup you have if my legs were wrapped around his head and his arm. So one more time. I'm in here, I open the guy's collar, I shoot my hand in, he goes to defend the choke, I pin his wrist down. If I pin his wrist down, there's a lot of danger on the guy's neck. He starts to turn into me, I push his arm down, I replace it with my chest, and I give the guy a nice tight squeeze. I got that guy here flat on his back, okay? I'm controlling the guy's hip, I have my nice tight knee on belly position, knee in the sternum, heel next to the guy's hip. I start controlling this guy's wrist, okay? Most of the positions are gonna start from here, okay? Again, he's gonna try to push my knee off. If he doesn't wanna push my knee off, there's something wrong. He has to be breathing through another part. So if he pushes my knee out over here, this is gonna be my cue, right? I'm gonna grab this guy's wrist, okay? As opposed to shooting for the collar or keeping my hand on the guy's hip. I'm gonna grab his wrist. Controlling the guy's wrist, he starts pushing my knee over here. I'm gonna go ahead and pin his wrist to his abdomen. Now, this hand is grabbing pinning his wrist to the mat. I'm gonna reach over for the elbow and pull it towards me. As I pull the elbow towards me, I step over, knee down against his upper back. This foot stays posted. And I have my figure 4 on the Kimura. Okay? That's what you're saying. So I'm in here, I pinch my knee against his back and my foot. I try to bring my foot and my knee together on the outside of his body. I grab for the Kimura. Most guys, they won't let you have this, so they'll defend this for dear life. They'll either grab their hand or their gi or their belt. From here, I'm gonna pin the elbow to my chest and I'm gonna lift it up with my upper body, not with my hands. So elbow to my chest, and lift it up with my upper body, and then I get the Kimura over here. Now, another option I have from here is if the guy's defending and for some reason, his grip's so strong and I'm unable to do my, and I'm unable to get the Kimura the way I want it to, from here, I keep it pinned to my chest. I'm gonna take this foot and I'm gonna back step it from the outside. I keep this knee, I keep my left knee against his back. Now from here, I'm gonna push his elbow forward so I can reset my chest behind his shoulder. Push his elbow forward, and my chest is behind his shoulder blade. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and switch my knees. My left knee is against his back. I switch my knees. My right knee comes in right behind his head. My left leg is posted over here. My elbow comes into his neck over here, and I'm still grabbing the figure 4 on the Kimura. Now, I'm pulling the guy on top of me and fighting for this Kimura. If he stays on the ground, I'm just gonna pull his shoulder. I'm gonna pull his arm over my knee and get my shoulder lock. Most guys though, I start pulling their arm towards me, they're gonna wanna sit up. Exactly, right? But if he doesn't defend the Kimura, he knows what's coming to him. So, he grabs his hands, he starts turning towards me. I'm gonna throw my leg over his far arm and lock my legs together. Now, I push my legs down and I pry his arms apart. And get my arm bar. I can also shoot for my triangle from here, from top. I have my knee on belly. I pin his wrist to the mat over here. It's kind of the same setup I go for when I go for the Kimura. Only this time, the guy knows it's coming, right? So I pin his wrist down and he's thinking, okay, this guy's gonna go for the Kimura and I'm gonna have my arm ripped off if I don't defend it properly, okay? So when I reach over for the wrist from here, my partner's gonna relieve his hand and kind of shoot for an underhook. Shoot for an underhook, exactly, kind of letting go and defending that Kimura attack. From here, I take my right hand, I post it on the guy's hip, right? I step to the side with my right knee, and I cut my left elbow into this hole made by his armpit. Here, and I backstep. When I backstep, I make sure my chest is against his shoulder, is against the rear side of his shoulder, and I get my seatbelt grip. Here. Now, notice how my left knee is against his back. I switch my knees and I pull him on top of this knee to get my bottom hook, and I have my back take. So I have my knee on belly, pin his wrist down, hold this. Now, when I reach for the elbow, he shoots for the underhook. I push against his hip to get a reaction from him, and now I step my knee to the side, cut the arm through, and spin to the guy's back. From here, notice how my hand shoots underneath his top arm, and I grab my other hand, right? My left hand grabs my right wrist over here. Make a little seat for it, and I grab it. Now I switch my knees, I pull this guy on top, pull my elbow on top of my knee over here. Now I'm gonna just pull the guy up towards me as I kick the bottom hook through. I have my bottom hook, I get my half back, or I get my full back mount. Notice that the seat belt right here keeps the guy in place. I grab the choking arm. The arm that's hugging the guy's head is the one that gets grabbed. This doesn't work for me. I grab my choking arm because this is the side because this is the arm I'm gonna choke him with when he starts to defend. If he blocks this top arm, boom, my choking arm is free. And I can set it inside of the collar and start setting up my chokes. Right, straight elbow lock from top knee on belly. So I have my knee on belly, I grab his wrist, I pin it down to the mat, I pinch his far wrist, down on his abdomen, and I shoot for the elbow like I'm going for the Kimura, just like one of the previous moves. So I shoot for the elbow like I'm going for the Kimura, but my partner, he sees this coming, so he escapes his arm and he shoots for this underhook over here. If I let him have this, he'll come up and recover guard. So what I do from here, as soon as he escapes and shoots the underhook, I block. As soon as he shoots for the underhook, I dig my arm inside here, I swim inside, and I trap his wrist next to my head as I go ahead and I find his elbow pocket over here. Now, my left leg, I'm gonna step over his head and I'm gonna bring him towards me. Over here. I attack the elbow. And the way I do this is I clasp my arms together and I find the elbow spot and I just bring it down towards me like a reverse armbar. More time. So I'm here, pin his wrist down, I grab like I'm going for the Kimura, he shoots through. I shoot my arm through. Step over with my leg, and I trap his wrist next to my head as I go for this elbow. And now, back step triangle variation from switching the knees. So if I'm here, top knee on belly, right? Guy's very good at escaping, he somehow throws me off balance. Never forget that you always have the opportunity to switch your knees. I don't only have to be with this knee on the guy's belly, right? So somehow he gets me off balance, I can always switch my knees over here. And it's from that switch that I'm gonna pull into my reverse triangle, pull into my triangle setup. So from here, he pushes this knee away, boom, I get this knee on the guy's chest over here. Now, I'm going to do a huge back step to the right side. And when I do this, I pose my hand, I back step large, and I look for this elbow. Pull this elbow up, and I bring my knee close to the guy's head when I do this. Now, when I have this set up, no issues. I'm just going to roll forward, not backward, forward. Into a nice, tight triangle. And I finish it from here if I want to, or I can go for one of his arms. Notice that when I switch my knees, I aim to block this arm of his because he's using it to push my knee. Look, here. I aim to block it with my shin over here. But sometimes it doesn't happen that way. Sometimes I switch my knee and his hand escapes. So, yeah. So I get my knee on the inside, but I don't block his arm. So that when I back step over here, this arm is left inside. No problems. Only difference is I'm gonna put my knee right next to the guy's head this time and sit the guy up using this arm. So really it's two back steps, one with blocking the arm and one without blocking the arm. So I'm in here, he pushes, I block the guy's arm, post, big back step, but I look for this elbow as soon as I finish back stepping, and I pinch my knee in. This eliminates all the space, eliminates any chance for him to escape. I reach over underneath his head, and I like to grab my shin before I roll. And I roll on my left shoulder, over here. And I kick this leg through, start setting up my triangle choke. One without the arm, so he pushes me off. When I go to switch my knees, his hand escapes me. Over here. I need to notice this. I need to notice when I'm blocking his hand and when I'm not. Now when I backstep this time, I'm not going to catch the far arm because this arm is already inside. So what I do is I push my knee next to the guy's head. Okay? And this time I pull on this elbow to make him fall into my trap. Thank you guys for watching my knee on belly attack series. Look for more awesome techniques like this in the upcoming weeks. You can find it on my social media pages or on my webpage. Find me Thabet Al Taher BJJ. Thank you my friend Ahmed Zaki for helping me show techniques. Look for awesome stuff from us both.